Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our lesson Islamic history, Sirah of Hazrat Issa alayhi salam, Nabi Issa alayhi salam. Nabi Issa alayhi salam was a prophet with a very high rank and position. His life story is very interesting, so read it with a lot of attention. His life story begins by explaining who his mother was. Birth of Maryam. There was a very famous pious man among the Bani Israel. His name was Imran. His wife's name was Hannah. She was also a pious woman. The people used to honor Imran and Hannah a lot and also used to look after them well. They did not have any children and this made Hannah very sad. After every salah, Hannah made dua, prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, "O Allah, grant me children who will be the coolness of my eyes and comfort for my heart." Allah accepted this dua from Hannah. When she found out that she was going to have a baby, she made a vow, promise to Allah that she will offer her child to serve in Masjid Aqsa. Before this child was born, Imran passed away. Then Hannah gave birth to a baby girl and she was named Maryam. The promise of Hannah is fulfilled. When the baby girl was born, Hannah became very worried as to how she will complete her promise. If she gave birth to a boy, he would be sent to serve in the masjid. But this child was a girl, so who will she serve the masjid? Allah, through His kindness and mercy, granted honor, respect, and blessing to Maryam alayhi salam and accepted her to serve Masjid Aqsa. In this way, the vow promise of Hannah was completed. Surah Al Imran, verse 35 to 36, taking care of Maryam. When Maryam was given over to the people looking after Masjid Aqsa, they began arguing who should take care of Maryam. Each person wanted to take care of her. Allah removed their differences by ordering them to go to a river, and each of those people who were looking after Masjid al-Aqsa should take the pen with which he used to write the Torah and throw into the river. Whoever's pen flows against the direction in which the water is flowing will then take care of Maryam. From all those who looked after Masjid Aqsa, Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam was the highest in position. He was a prophet and was also the uncle of Maryam. It was his pen that flowed against the current of the water. He was then allowed to take care of the Maryam. Maryam began living in the care of her uncle Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, and when she grew up, he gave her a separate room. Maryam would spend the whole day worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the room, and in the evening she would go home with the Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam and stay with her aunt, mother, sister Isa Qasasul Quran. The miracle of Maryam. Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam Zakaria alayhi salam would sometimes visit Maryam in her room, and whenever he went there, he was surprised to see that she had food in her room, including fruits that was not in the season. One day, he asked her, "Maryam, where do you get this food from?" Maryam said, "It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah grants sustenance, food, and drink to whoever He wishes without any account." Surah Al Imran. Dear children, remember this was the miracle of Maryam. She had a special position in the eyes of Allah. She was accepted to be very close to Allah, and this is how Allah gives food and drink to His chosen and accepted servants. Birth of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. So we cannot use the servant for the prophet, but we can say Allah's prophet for Allah's accepted persons. Birth of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Maryam Alayhi Salam remained in the worship of Allah during the day and night. All the pious people of Baitul Maqdis were happy with her pure life. Then one day she went out towards the eastern side of Baitul Maqdis for some necessary work. While she was there, the angel Jibreel Alayhi Salam literally appeared in front of her in form of human. Seeing a strange man in front of her, Maryam Alayhi Salam became worried, just as any noble and chaste pure woman would. She then said to the angel, Inni a'udhu birrahmani minka in kuntu taqiyyan. I seek the protection of Allah, the most merciful, from you if you are a good fearing pious person. Surah Al-Maryam, verse 18. Jibreel alayhi salam told her not to worry because he was not a human but an angel who was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give her a pure child. Surah Maryam, verse 19. On hearing this, Maryam said, أن يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا. How will I have a child when no man has ever touched me, and neither am I an unchaste woman. Surah Maryam, verse 20, Subhanallah. Jibreel Islam told her, you will definitely have a son. That is not difficult to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will make your son a sign of his power, and that is a defined decision that has been made by Allah. Jibreel Islam also said, the child's name will be Isa Yesu. His title will be Messiah, and he will talk to the people immediately after being born. After seeing this, Jibreel blew into her collar and then disappeared. After a few days, Maryam began feeling that she had a baby in her stomach. She was worried by the thought of what people would blame her of having done if she gives birth to a child. As the days went on, her worry increased. At last, her difficulty increased so much that she left Bethel Maqdis and went to a mountain called Sayr, which is about 9 miles from Bethel Maqdis. Today, that place is known as a Bethlehem. In Bethlehem, when she began feeling the pain of the baby being born, she sat down against a dead palm tree, and in the fear of being blamed for having done something bad, she began saying, I wish I had died before this and been forgotten, that I would not have to see this day of being blamed for something bad. At the time, Jibreel Islam came to her again to comfort her, but this time he stayed far from her and said, Maryam, do not worry. Look, for Allah has caused a spring of water to flow under this mountain, and He has placed ripe dates on the tree that you are leaning against. If you shake the branch of the tree, some ripe dates will fall off for you. Eat the dates, drink the water, and cool your eyes by looking at your son. Do not worry about anything at all. Surat Maryam, verse 24-25. Nabi Islam talks to the people in childhood. The biggest worry that Maryam had was how the people would accept that she has a child who has no father. Jibreel Islam brought a message for her from Allah saying, when you wish to go back to the people, then you must keep a fast of not talking. This type of fasting was allowed in the religion of Bani Israel, but is not allowed in Islam. Take the child with you to people, and if anyone asks you about the child, then you must find the child, saying, I'm keeping a fast of not talking for the sake of Allah. Ask this child whatever you need to know. Maryam got a lot of comfort by this message from Allah. She took the child and started going toward Bethel Maqdis. When she searched the city, the people crowded around her, saying, Maryam, what is this? You have done something strange, whereas your father was not an evil man and your mother was not a bad woman. So, what have you done? According to Allah's command, Maryam pointed to the child, indicating that they should ask the child whatever they wanted to know because she was keeping a fast of no talking. The people were surprised and said, Maryam, how can we speak to child who was only just born? The people were even more surprised when this newborn baby began talking. He said, إني عبد الله أتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت ووصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام على يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. I'm a servant, worshipper of Allah. He has given me He has given me a heavenly book and made me a prophet. He has made me blessed wherever I may be, and has instructed me to perform salah, prayer, and zakah, charity as long as I live. He has made me kind to my mother and not disobedient or troublesome. So peace be upon me that day I was born, the day that I die, and the day that I shall be raised to life again. On hearing these words full of wisdom from the newborn baby, the people became convinced, sure that Maryam was a pure woman and she was free from having done anything wrong. They understood that this child, being born without a father, was a very great sign of the power of Allah. They understood that this child, being born without a father, was a very great sign of the power of Allah. This blessed child of Maryam was Nabi Isa alayhi salam. All these details of his birth have been mentioned by Allah in his final book, the Noble Quran, and this is what is true and correct. Whatever else other people say is not true, so you should not believe in it all. Questions. Explain the birth of Maryam in detail. Write the name of the father and mother of Maryam. What promise did the mother of Maryam make to Allah? Who took care of Maryam? Explain the miracle of Maryam alayhi salam. What was the reaction of Maryam alayhi salam when Jibreel alayhi salam first came to her, and what she said to him? Why did Maryam alayhi salam go to Bethlehem? With what words did Jibreel alayhi salam comfort Maryam alayhi salam just before Isa alayhi salam born? Explain in details the discussion that Nabi Isa alayhi salam had with the people while he was still a baby. Teaching the religion to others. When Nabi Sallallahu grew up and began receiving the revelation, teaching from Allah, he then began teaching these lessons to his people, the Bani Israel. He taught them their forgotten lessons by saying, "O my people, I am prophet of Allah. He has sent me to help you correct yourselves, and I have been given the Injil for your guidance. It clearly shows that what is right and wrong. O my people, listen to me carefully and worship only one Allah, God, because you will only earn goodness if you do that." Nabi Sallallahu continued inviting his people to the true religion in this manner. He taught them to believe in the oneness of Allah, to accept all the prophets and books, the angels' life after death and fate, Taqdeer. He also encouraged them to do good actions. Unfortunately, the Bani Israel did not understand what he taught them because their hearts were not soft but had become as hard as stones. They were not prepared to accept such true and simple teachings. They opposed when against Nabi Sallallahu and began teasing and troubling him in many ways. However, Nabi Isa did not lose hope and continued going to their areas to teach them the true religion. Miracle of Nabi Isa. It has always been the system of Allah that whenever He chose a prophet for the guidance of any nation, He gave him miracles according to the need of that time, so that the prophet could use these miracles to prove the truth of his religion as well as the proof of him being a true message of Allah. Miracles are such actions that even experts or professionals with all their efforts cannot manage to do. For example, Sulaiman al-Islam was granted the ability to speak to birds and he had the power to control the wind. When Ibrahim al-Islam was thrown into the huge burning fire by Namrud, the fire turned into a cool garden for him. The walking stick of Musa al-Islam would turn into a snake when he threw it down, and when he put his right hand under his armpit and removed it, his hand would shine as bright as the sun. Our Nabi Muhammad split the moon in half by pointing his fingers at it. On the night of Miraj, our Nabi was taken from Masjid al-Haram in Mecca to Baitul Maqdis and from there to the seven heavens. He also visited Jannah and Jahannam and then returned to Masjid al-Haram in that same night. The greatest miracle of our Nabi is the Noble Quran. All the human beings and jinns together cannot make even a small surah chapter like those in the Quran. Nabi Sallallahu was also given miracles by Allah. Some of the main ones are, by the permission of Allah, he could bring the dead back to life. By the permission of Allah, he could make those who were born blind to see again. By permission of Allah, he could cure those with the leprosy. He would make clay birds and blow into them. By the permission of Allah, they would come to life and begin to fly. He could tell the people what they had eaten as well as what food they had stored. Surah Al-Imran. The helpers of Nabi Isa. Nabi Isa kept showing his people these miracles as well as reading to them the Injil to invite them to the true religion. However, very few people accepted his teachings. Most of the other people teased him and troubled him in many ways, so there were very few good-hearted people who had accepted his teachings and gave their lives and wealth to help with spreading the true religion. These helpers are known as Havari. reasons for which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent to the people of Bani Israel. Matthew chapter 10 verse 5 and chapter 15 verse 24. They were the nation to which Torah was given, but they did not look after the respect this great book of Allah. They changed many of the laws that were mentioned in it. There were some laws that they totally removed from the Torah and others that they disagree with them. During this period, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was made a prophet. His first task was to renew the teaching of Musa Alaihi Salam by teaching the people the correct laws and the ruling of the Torah, as well as clearing the difference that they had regarding some of the other ruling of Torah. Nabi Isa Alaihi Salam said to Bani Israel, قد جئتكم بالحكمة وبين لكم بعض الذي تختلفون فيه واتقوا الله وأطيعون. I have brought to you words of wisdom, and I have been sent to explain for you some of these things regarding which you have differences. So fear Allah and follow me. Says Zukhruf. Verse 63. The second reason for sending Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as a prophet was because Allah SWT wanted to change a few laws of the Torah and give the Bani Israel a new set of laws. It was for this reason that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was granted a new book, the Injil, from all the prophets who were sent to the nation of Bani Israel. Only Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Nabi Dawud Alaihi Salam were granted new books. All other prophets sent to Bani Israel before Nabi Isa Alaihi Salam taught the people the laws of Torah. This second reasons for which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent as a prophet is explained in the following verse of the Quran. وَمَصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَّيَ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ وَلِأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي حُرِّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ. I have been sent to confirm the teaching of the Torah that came before me, and to make permissible for you some of the things that were haram upon you. Surah Al-Imran verse 50. The third important reason for Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam being sent as a prophet was to give glad tidings, good news of the coming of the last and final Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so that when the leader of all the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is sent, the people would come forward in large numbers to follow his teaching. A verse of the Quran mentioned this: وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيَّ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِن بَعْدِي اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدُ. And when Nabi Isa Alaihi Salam said, O Bani Israel, I have been sent as a messenger of Allah to you to confirm the teaching of the Torah that came before me, and to give glad tidings, good news of a new prophet to come after me, whose name will be Ahmed. Surah Saf, verse 6. Teaching the oneness of Allah, Tawheed. Nabi Isa Alaihi Salam gave more importance to teaching the oneness of Allah, Tawheed, and that Nabi Isa Alaihi Salam was only a worshipper of Allah. He repeatedly told his followers, Allha Rabbi wa Rabbikum fa'budu wa mustaqim. Allah is my Rabb and your Rabb, so worship Him. This is the straight path. In Allha Rabbi wa Rabbikum fa'budu wa mustaqim. Indeed, Allah is my Rabb and your Rabb, so worship Him. This is the straight path. Surah Al-Imran, verse 51. And Surah Maryam, verse 36. وقال المسيح يا بني إسرائيل اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة وما هو نار وما للظالمين من أنصار. Nabi Sallallahu told the Bani Israel, worship Allah, who is my Rabb and your Rabb. Whoever joins anyone as a partner to Allah, then Allah will make paradise Jannah forbidden for him, and he will be sent to hell Jahannam. Such wrongdoers will not have anyone to help them. Surah Ma'idah, verse 72. What is Mu'jiza, and why are they given to certain people? Which Mu'jiza did Isa Alaihi Salam have? Mention some Mu'jizas of other prophets. Who were the helpers of Isa Alaihi Salam? What were the reason for which Isa Alaihi Salam was sent as a prophet? What teaching did Isa Alaihi Salam give most important to? What was the reaction of the people when Isa Alaihi Salam began teaching the religion? Nabi Sallallahu taken up alive into the sky. Nabi Sallallahu went from village to village, city to city, teaching about oneness of Allah. He did not have a house and was not married, so at night he would sleep wherever he was. Nabi Sallallahu and his teaching became famous and increased every day. The people listened to his teachings with a lot of desire and interest. However, the Jews could not bear to see Nabi Sallallahu being accepted and honored in this manner. As the religion of Islam progressed, it affected the Jews as if a thorn was pricking their hearts. Finally, the people began opposing Nabi Sallallahu in every way. At that time, Romans were ruling this whole area, and their victory governor of the king was living in Damascus. His name was Plates, and he was idol worshipper. The Jews went to him and said, "Your Highness is not only a threat, a danger to us, but he is becoming a threat, danger to the whole country as well. If he is not stopped, then our religion will not remain safe, and we fear that his growing popularity may not put your government in danger as well. He shows the people different types of magical tricks and makes them follow Israel, and that is why something urgent has to be done to stop this danger from spreading." Platis believed that the Jews told him and issued a warrant of arrest of Nabi Sallallahu. The plan of the government was to arrest Nabi Sallallahu at such a time when he was alone, so that the people would not cause a problem after Nabi Sallallahu arrested. However, Nabi Sallallahu was directly informed by Allah about this plan of the enemies, so he gathered his disciples at a certain place and told them, "This is a very difficult test upon us. Every effort is being made to destroy the truth, and now I will not remain with you for much longer. Now it will be your responsibility to preach the religion to others. Will you all help the religion of Allah all the time?" The disciples replied, saying, "We worship to help the religion of Allah. We believe in Allah with a true heart, and we make you a witness to our belief and obedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Al Imran. At that time, Nabi Sallallahu was hiding in one of the house near Baitul Maqdis with some of the disciples, but the government soldiers managed to somehow track him down, and then surrounded then they surrounded the house. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then sent a revelation Wahi to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, saying, "Do not worry, the enemy will not manage to kill you because I will raise you into the sky alive." So this point is very important. Hazrat Issa alayhi salam, when the people put Isa alayhi salam in trouble, that time Allah said, "Do not worry, the enemies will not manage to kill you because I will raise you into the skies alive." Allah then fulfilled his promise and took Nabi Isa alayhi salam to the skies alive. The soldier first sent a spy into the house. When he went in, he did not find Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so he began searching around the house to find where he was hiding. This was taking long, so the police was then sent into the house to find out what was happening. So inshallah, we will start our next lesson tomorrow. Till then, Allah Hafiz. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.